What was that picture? That looks so funny. I don't know why. Wow, this one. That picture was funny. Go to the next one. Thank you.
Those are nice shoes. Yeah. They look comfortable. I'm sure you're amazed.
This is what I remember him looking. And they did. Like a Russian. It's pretty juicy.
And every he just in stars. Please, that's right. Please, Mr. John is okay. That's the Oh, yeah. And it's nice because I can just see
Well,
Yeah.
Come on, Dan was like, that would have been, that was almost the forgotten night.
Are you going anywhere after the cemetery?
We're going to Point Reyes.
Okay.
So just the,
Yes, okay.
we got a call from Mercy today. They did the,
Oh, they did it? Yeah.
yesterday.
They got it done, really?
Yeah. Well, I know.
I went by, did I go by yesterday? I think I drove by, I think yesterday or the day before. And I saw the dome, it was open, you know, I didn't look to see. But then I saw, because there was somebody else there, Ford pickup. I should have stopped and met her name. She was getting better. I don't know if she was from Mercy or somebody else. Yeah.
It's beautiful. So we went over yesterday and it's funny because when you
They let that go for a couple of years.
his wife was too down. That's always sitting there. And I said, you know, he said, I don't
There used to be a big arbor there too, right? That's all. They let that go. That was they let it go for a while. A couple of years actually. Yeah, I know. That was not. But you know what? They let you do it. Well, they let me do it over there. Why can't I have a tree? You know? It's like I know. They followed them at Walden, you know, there was a tree there, and well, the storm came and it wiped it out, so we don't put it back. So, well, the lady bought the lot there because of the tree. You know, put it on the tree, but she wants to pay for it. I finally said to her, just go put it in.
One of my parents' friends called and said that she couldn't and so she far right driveway down by King, for the birch tree. That's where you
That's right.
I said, we picked out plots so people could be like, oh, tree, there they are. Yeah, okay, I'll have one. Remember,
Some kilos, huh?
I tried to dig up some that, you know, in the basement in the places and so
I think you should
in half house where you stayed. Yeah. That was a sleepover. And he wanted to sleep with Grandpa. And Grandma said, I'll go in the other room if you want. And he was like, no, you don't have to. And Brendan's like, okay, see you tomorrow. Like, kick her out.
There's some great outfits.
Oh, yeah.
Styles.
Yeah.
Those make change a lot.
Oh, yeah. She was good for
style.
Well, he parted on the side and then it started to recede up. So then the suggestion was to part it down the middle.
It's a public house.
The girl in the back,
It's not as bad as the other day, but I think it's supposed to start to get worse and worse until tomorrow morning and then go away again.
Good stuff.
Not really much to do about it.
Yes.
This is my friend Denise. How far back do we go? What grade?
Elementary school.
Yeah.
Because we had to stay in trouble at recess by your mom, by your grandmother.
Grandma gave us a detention.
And we were like, I was like, thought I was gonna get in so much trouble because we didn't come fast enough back from recess.
And it was like 5 of us, right? There was like 5 of us.
Yeah.
And our punishment was we had to stay after school like the following day and do homework for an hour until the late bus. Grandma was, well,
So I was trying to think what grade that was, but that might have been older.
that was before 5th grade because we were in Mrs. Sherman's grade for that. So, not like 3rd or 4th grade.
I know, because I don't think we ever had a class together. Not here.
Cahill. Okay, that must have
Yeah,
been.
because
Yeah.
they're old.
Okay, I had Mrs.
In second grade. I think it was fourth grade.
Yeah. Worst teacher ever, but best class ever.
Like Diane Blair was in a hammer, she'd come up with little.
Eric Rocha was in there, and Carolyn Hugo, and Jack Malone, Tom Freeman was in there. Jack Malone, he lived in my neighborhood. Yeah, well,
I think I had a crush on her.
his dad was the superintendent at that time. Remember, he used to come and walk through the class and walk out or whatever?
That's so funny.
That was funny. His sister and I had the same birthday. Yeah, they lived 2 streets down from where I was.
so we're getting ready for a wedding.
Yeah. What am I gonna do?
Wedding dress?
Yes, what am I gonna do with that? That's in the basement.
You tried giving it to her. I was getting married.
Well,
And you could have just gone and say yes to the dress and tried it on and moved on.
well, and I had said to Sarah, like any of the training, I don't know if like you want any more materials and make it into something else. Because a lot of times they're taking the old dresses and making like a reception dress out of it or a rehearsal dress. So, yeah, such a little.
So pretty.
And they were like,
There's a vintage town, there's a vintage antique store.
getting ice cream.
Shocker.
I haven't seen a lot of Reverend meeting actually.
There's a couple of them.
Your son couldn't come.
No.
It's funny when I actually asked my son to work. I don't know why I didn't bring my Christine's son. That sounds weird, like Christine's son.
Yeah. He's in the Mojave Desert right now. Dealing with heat stroke victims and all kinds of stuff. He's on 12 day off the grid. He called me yesterday. He's like, "Oh, the grid was 12 days." So that's why we're doing the live stream. Live stream and then we'll go on to the next channel. So he's watching with us. Yeah.
There we go.
Oh yeah, that was a short time ago.
What's this place?
Dresser Hill.
Dresser.
Yeah, yeah. Look at this. I mean, this is the guy.
I remember this. Do a farmer's market. We did a lot of Ooh, that looks good. Oh, and you all went together?
Yeah.
So I had like a lunch there on the side of the stairs. Yeah, that's
Cold,
perfect.
yeah, cold.
So remember that there was those Hudgins students who the Lions were. Okay. So one stayed for the Lions,
Yeah.
one stayed for well, they were staying on David Estrada, in their house. David was in house. Yes. Yeah. They were all very musically inclined.
Where are you? Yeah.
So we just figured out yeah. Other friends. I feel like that, yeah.
Oh, please sit. Don't stand for me. Oh, yeah, yeah.
We were here at 8:30. Well, no, I didn't only park it. Always the addition. No, it wasn't me. I was never her. I'll always.
Oh, did like a private thing and then doing the big thing.
Yeah.
That makes
Dan
sense.
was saying that too.
Oh yeah, I feel like that's still a thing now.
Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. That's good. Yeah, actually, I have a friend who's actually just on leave, so it was the day before their 9-year anniversary. She wanted to throw her off a little bit. No, my friend was coming. Like 1 day before, like, I don't know if I'm even with a junior. I don't know, but I'm like, that's such a milestone. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, that's wild. But yeah. Always like the days.
I can't. No.
Absolutely nothing. I'm working a lot. TTX though. Do you know what part she works in? Digital stores buying. Okay, well, she's probably buying for stores.
You don't. Clients, how you doing? I would make my own mistake. Fix the wrong place in the time.
Fast growing, it's still small into the stores and everything. Right, right. Oh, okay, then she's not.
Wouldn't shock me.
Being recorded, you see how.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Glad I didn't make my statement.
That's what I said, because I know, you know, it just comes out, you know, and everything is being recorded. Yeah.
It's early.
Oh, yes, I think, yeah.
Here's an issue with the filter. Does it have one?
Well, but now they have so much security. They have some that are stuck at my station. But then some stations let other ones walk around. Oh,
How you going? Yeah. I think I was talking about yoga. Definitely.
It's really a celebration of.
Yeah.
And it's like,
And you're here for the family.
somebody was just saying, take this.
I used to see it.
He's a piece of the land now.
Yeah.
We were out to dinner last week. I forgot your first name.
Brian.
Brian.
Yep.
Nice to see you. Bones. I was like, what was you saying? When I went over to get your father wants to get back home. Like,
That's not bad.
that's really my
Oh my God, I couldn't see.
It's like a gray suit, it's got a nice interior. Someone had that custom made and they don't want it.
There you go.
That's
it.
It's like a gray suit. That's what it is.
My father passed. I had sports coats and stuff, but they were
Oh, yeah.
and I don't think they did. I think they did into my house. I don't think they did a good job with me. It's just too big. Just way too big.
Last Christmas.
One or twice.
Listen, Mom.
Not wearing he showed up.
Hey, they sure have to call.
That's impressive.
Without the alligator.
I've never owned an alligator. Never in my
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Oh, okay. Watch you.
Gold star.
Yes. Double gold star. Not that anyone can check to say whether it's accurate or not. I'm sure it is.
Oh, okay. I did, yeah.
You better check this one. Oh,
She had to come.
I was gonna say, you look like the three guys going to the gym.
I know, I
The combination. Indian and Chinese.
So your mom said, she's like, oh, that's what I want. Yeah, right.
There. It's quite expensive.
How are you?
Oh, no, I thought that's why.
I'm sorry.
I figured it's everybody.
Yeah.
At some point in time,
Right.
she is.
Well, no, it's not like I don't blame him. I just assume.
I would recognize them because I post their thing on Facebook. Saw pictures and lots of them.
I know. I know. Because it's like, oh, it's important to me that I go. Oh, well, my audience. No, I totally get it. It's on here. How about that? You know what? It's on here. And you get more stuff here. That's a good decision. That's
I don't know unless you got millions of dollars. They don't move as fast as they should.
Stomach pains and stuff like that. Either of those appointments scheduled. She's called multiple times. Oh, you know what I want to do? So we for you guys to get those appointments. There's capacity every single day.
Same with her, and I think that's one of the reasons she's hear the TV, so I know she's not every day, but most days, so she's active.
My grandfather at first. She was just like, she did everything. And she lost her reason to get up and then I think I told you about life now. I think they didn't. So she was playing, we would make a puzzle with her so the community. She'd fall. And so she was there for me. And her life kept going. It's like life stands on no. And so we're doing puzzles. And we were talking about that after on Tuesdays, I always went and see her either at home because we were doing hair and I figured out that we're walking down the hall and we just discussed it. And the nurse said, stopped the nurse and said, last night you asked me she goes, I'm trying to be tonight. She goes, okay. She just reached out on the shelf and hands my grandmother a cup. No name, didn't check the bracelets, nothing. And I didn't think of it at all until the next morning when I got a phone call. It was an emergency. She passed away or something. And she goes to get a DNR. And she was they all told me that she was ready to go. She was like we were going to my aunt was like she said they planning to go up there because my parents were going away. There to visit. She was right there. Making the husband was coming on a Tuesday to bring her mother. What's scary is we was at the time the station house was and we had to get the pictures and that night I went and I was like we have to try. Some of us can't do this. So we went out to dinner. Meg were in the back It will hunt you because I'm really good at autopsy because it doesn't change the tone. It does.
They check my name
500 times.
500 times, and then they're looking at the bottle. Is this you? And it's like, how can you just pull the pill off the car?
I know it needs to be chopped off all of it. But I'm a little worried that I'm gonna have those leaking.
You had a baby face before you grew it.
Yes,
Of course, you have a baby face underneath you grew.
I know, I just don't want to see it though.
It's scary. The baby face comes out.
he's still a baby. He's the youngest of all the cousins. He's 21 now. He's still a baby.
I know he's been drinking.
Sounds like my brother Dave's thing. Yeah, it was with the church. Time in, and one day they were there and they were celebrating his birthday. And oh, you know, what? Never mind. I don't want to know how old you really are. I don't want to know how long we've been serving you.
So my parents.
He's like, yeah, but now you know.
I was going to a bar, so you know, 7-Eleven.
Yep.
Next day, I was going for 3 or 4 hours. Like 4 days before my 21st birthday, and I didn't even call. I see him 4 days. When I turned 21, I quit drinking for like a year. And it wasn't exciting anymore.
I had the opposite. I'm like 30 years old. I need these
I don't know how I feel about
my
that.
friend just went there. Now I'm like,
You look very different.
here.
Oh, now, yeah.
It's such a holy systems on it.
I was gonna say, like, it holds the key, but like sweet and
I know. I told Dan, thanks for the heads up.
I know.
I think the last two
Well,
First of all, that I don't remember.
stay out of too much trouble. Mom told me her opinion of your
She did? Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. Good. Yeah. She goes, this is what becoming.
It's such a different
I'm
person.
going to
like-
to myself.
So I gave her a hug and a
Just a little bit, we have the streaming live. So we have the video coming out. So
I gave her a hug and I went, I put it on her cheek. Hey, what's up, dude?
How's it going? Nice to see you.
Oh, they're doing a picture.
Yeah, you chose. That's good.
We'll have you guys. We've just been notified you're applying.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Good, that's good. You don't want to.
You know, I was going to have a drive through.
The slideshow.
There's friending training in California. Further All right, we're gonna have the road. Thank you, doing it. It's nice to see you. Oh, I didn't see it in a while.
Yeah. And I think
It's like, yes. It's,
All right, good to see you.
You got the
Do you notice something different?
notice that.
Yeah, because he had the same. Yeah.
been for quite a while.
She's such a wonderful girl. Yeah, and I'm glad she went back into that subtitle course again.
So that's the.
Well, I don't know. Yes, in the winter time, what would you do?
But that's the old. We didn't get the old because then what we started.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
She's always in the one all right, so she could do that in the winter. Yeah. Oh, I know she missed it. She loved it. Yeah. Yeah, I know. We're all right. Yeah. So she has to go back. I was just going to ask her for the date. Yeah, I know. It's such a big expense.
Yeah. Like, you know,
Hi, Brad. How are you? Everybody's taller than I am.
well, not everybody.
Right, Charlton?
Oh, I can't wait for the cookout.
Oh, wow.
Woman.
Oh, she's so funny.
All right, we guys are the same.
No, she was always like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
They were the same height.
Yeah, because I think when my position yesterday, or
I haven't quite started shrinking yet.
I said to her, I said, how tall am I? She said, 5'2". But then you go this way.
That's right, Miss Mother, she's so cute as yet. She reminded me like that I was. She was like 5'3", so when she was finally at the end of the hospital, she's taking her head. She goes, I'm 5'2". And the nurse looks at her and I'm like, so she's like, okay, I see back.
See you guys later.
And it's still that generation where she was
Only one that was, no, she was still in, she would go to the store. She was dressed in makeup. She would be so offended nowadays to see kids go grocery shopping.
It's like they were.
Well,
No, well, yeah.
I get dressed before I can get six. I don't mind it. I don't know. At night.
What makes it quicker?
I got PJs in minutes.
That way when he
Pick
goes
up,
home,
shoot,
he's in
boom,
bed at
slide
7
in.
o'clock. Because he's an old man. So I was just reading in July. All right, so just over a year.
Oh, yeah, no, you can stay up. I don't know.
Well, he's not a
We set up about 9 o'clock this morning, and we've been just kind of look at that today. Oh my gosh, he was kind of stuck back then. Or were they
She
really?
showed us a response. Oh my
You were born in 65.
So then,
So wouldn't that be?
Correct.
He was
A lot of people starting to show up.
Why am I not great?
It's fair.
That's good. That's fine.
And Dave did so much for the church too.
Okay.
The trustees, he was incredible.
Is your phone on you? No. No,
It'll be nice service.
Did you just to church? That's how I
It's just one thing.
yes.
Do I not have to wear my jacket?
No, I'm getting ready.
It's actually pretty cool. Yeah. But no, it's nice.
Just don't want to be in the way of the camera.
That's gonna be something.
Oh, I am.
Yeah. And we've been live streaming the video.
Oh, okay.
Maybe she just did calling out.
But we had,
Yeah, 3 weeks. Probably shouldn't start it the day before. Or the morning of.
On the morning, I'm driving the way over. Yeah. I'm sure you've got a pretty good idea what you're doing.
Oh, Tanya and I know what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
I gotta take Sean. Never miss one of those. Thank you.
Oh, I think I just stepped in your foot.
No.
Sorry.
You stepped on not on my foot, that's all.
I'll sit on this side.
Are you gonna that couch?
I'll sit on this side.
No, that's okay. She can sit there if she wants.
I won't like show on
Well,
there.
actually, now you probably could because I did. But no, you won't show.
Okay.
It's actually very comfortable.
And these are
Single too. It's a good spot.
I'm not gonna go to the cemetery.
No, we're not either. We're not either.
Yeah, today that's when I pulled in.
Oh, yeah.
That's
why Tristan had some friends coming over for his high school graduation party, so I'll go back there.
Yeah.
Somebody said that it's a
I think
sweet.
it's front ground.
I actually didn't really notice.
The other day.
Yeah. Well, the other day, I was out playing ultimate frisbee with a bunch of people at Tristan, and here we are breathing, we're working our hearts and breathing up all that stuff as we're running around. It probably wasn't a good thing to do.
Yeah. It was really something. I was looking directly at the sun.
Yeah.
And it's like,
No, I think you never wash yourself.
it doesn't matter.
Now, the DCs and Minnesota, their fires and then coming out of Canada, their whole state is like.
So really, my daughter's in a trade show up in Minnesota this past week.
Oh.
So she's been out there. She said a lot of people didn't go to the trade show. They all lived in their house.
Right.
I would turn myself into
Is anybody really testing what's actually in the air? Is it toxic?
That's what I'm.
They got one. What do you do? You know, I mean, we need stronger borders. That's the thing. We can't let this stuff go.
I think we need to charge one first to Canada because they should never let this happen. Well, let's not just help them. Let's just like.
once in a while. Just
Some other decisions are. I did not watch it. I missed that. I forget where I was, but it was just raving about it. So what was the big thing that he was going to? What was the big message? He's running for a third term. Just trying to get his election the voting bill passed.
I think it's some 6 months.
6 months later.
Yeah, I just like perfect. I had the same thing.
But like,
I would do exercise.
Yeah. He's definitely one for history. Every country has their thing.
2.5 years.
Well, we did it because of their youth year.
Well, that's
We don't know what she said they had, whether they really had it. Oh, should hear Tanya.
Where is she?
She here? Right. Oh, she's
go backwards.
I went back. I had a great no light, a great small.
They started now nobody really.
Yes.
Yeah, that was always my plan. From here, make sure I saw the family and stay in the service.
You're going to say to the
That's probably so I'm still holding it as I get.
Maybe Pastor John will forgive me if I'm not in church tomorrow.
No, he's watching.
I know.
He is watching.
We have friends coming in from Boston.
He actually sent down and sent an email to me after the service. He wasn't watching live. Instead, he watched the video. Like that. So immediately. But that's live streaming.
Yeah, I was actually standing right in line, so my face was up there. And I'm like, oh, I better move.
Well, Brendan is out in California. Brendan,
I was wondering why I didn't see him.
you know why? He's in California to pay. Chris had a discussion. They offered to pay him to come, not the army. Chris said, some item, you know, right up.
What is he doing? It sounds like he's on a base.
What about
So that's why Kenny said, well, we can do whatever live stream this. We live stream for the last video.
And he's going to
see the service.
see, but he can't communicate.
That's our next, that could be our next jump. We could certainly do it. Yeah. We could figure out a way for him to call and capture it.
Yeah.
We didn't do that because I'm not sure. I know we could do it.
You two are.
We've been going crazy trying to get them to. Actually, this is
If things don't work out any time, let me know.
there you go. Yeah, I don't want to work. You got a few more years. You got to start where you got 65.
Well, 65 or 67. I don't know. We'll see what happens at 65.
I did it at 67. Oh, yeah, 7.
I'd like to get the full Social Security benefit. If it's even another citizen statement, if it's even there, that's higher.
You know what? I said that when I was 30, and now I'm here.
Eventually on the road.
And like 5 years, I started at 67. No, I started
Someone
at
else is
7.
down the road.
So I probably 2 years, 5 years I was talking. But I just started those years. I wrote money just make an extra 8% per year.
Yeah, yeah.
Sean was in the camera.
Yep.
I didn't tell him.
Do whatever they got.
Kenny's going to be in the service. He's going to be speaking. You read?
Well, no, I read it on, yeah. Well, not in the program. I read it somewhere else that you were talking about. Maybe it was something Amy sent out. Was it in the podcast or was it in a recent PJ's place that you sent out? Somewhere I read that you read it. Or maybe I read it. Yes. Where did I read it?
Well, it's in the program.
Yes, but I didn't read it here. I read it somewhere else.
Maybe it was flying around.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
I'll wait until I have to go. Did you see this? But did you see this? I did.
Especially the cake. No, it's a nightmare going there. I was stuck over the bridge.
Back and forth.
And they're starting
The hours spent working with them on the auction.
Yes, that and then I know he was the clerk that works for your house.
I know.
Yeah, that's what I. Yeah. I'm reading.
So pass the joint.
It really was. From work, and I would have a daily update.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
You know what?
He was always telling me I liked what they did. I don't know. And I'll make sure you talk to them. And he was so cute.
How are the boys doing?
Good, good.
Hi, how are you? Sorry about that. Was that your foot? I know. You do too.
Good, how are you?
The picture I saw.
Yeah.
You
I see the
back.
comments. I see the comments.
Yeah. But the one that I said you were DJ reverse, you are.
Thank you. How's Kat?
Now he kind of dated the picture. I could tell. I said, okay, well that has to be a date. You know, you look great.
Yeah, you too. You
She's
too.
good. Everything's good.
All the kids.
Yeah. Got 4 granddaughters.
No boys.
Huh? No boys. No boys in our whole family. I had 2 daughters. Now we have 4 granddaughters. So I'm very outnumbered at one house. You know, I'm in business.
The girls are busy. Ironically, Millie's heavily into volleyball.
She's home.
You
Quite the right direction.
Good.
Yeah, but just a few of his friends.
So you guys stay
Nothing.
Yeah. Did was the graduation ceremony?
so much.
Oh, yeah.
You know, she reminded me.
Yeah, actually, it was small. Like,
When we built those house,
Kenny was just saying too.
he was
5
he
or
was
7
there.
kids.
Bigger than Millie's class.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much he did for you.
I think
I think he would
it's
have
because when
done
he
it,
started,
even if he didn't ask me, because that's him. He
it was
was
just after the
really
pandemic started.
liked to move.
So they had a very small
was
virtual class. But over the next 3 years, they got COVID.
Yeah.
So it wasn't
His junior class is like,
Well,
that's an anomaly.
good. So you're not
That's he's
anywhere
gonna
near
be
his
in
top
college.
No,
He's like 1 more month. So no.
I think the hiking.
Oh, great. I'm doing accounting actually for Wagner Motorsports still. My boyfriend was able to get me a job there. Doing accounting. I'm actually living with his parents at his house. We're trying to move out, but it's just
Our oldest Trinity is back home after college. She graduated college.
yeah.
She had an apartment, right?
Huh?
She
No.
has an apartment. She never did?
No,
Oh,
no. No, she's just working, saving her money. And
Yeah.
Just saw like the average
Did you have that kind of indent in
yeah.
Yeah, because it's insane. Like, you're gonna live at home forever. Like,
unless you move to another part of the country.
right.
Between California and Massachusetts.
You don't even know.
We were just in Nashville. We went to Nashville. So people were saying in Nashville and the surrounding areas having this incredible majority of the people in California. It's affordable. There's no state income.
Because originally it was a
So
Yeah.
it's nice area.
You're the DJ?
Yeah, I don't have a speaker anymore.
I don't know what they come with.
Yeah, I gotta talk to her.
I gotta see
She wants me to be playing music right now. I'm like,
because our back.
I was supposed to be playing music right now.
Put her on your phone and just crank the volume up.
Exactly. I'm gonna start doing
Maybe
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I saw her. She came on stage.
reminded me of the fact that Dave was over.
Oh, no big
and we
deal.
were building our house all the time.
Yeah.
Keeping an eye on things.
Yes, yeah. As he did with the church, we were redoing the church tower.
Yeah, like 21.
Your best movie.
We are going to get together. Doing some stuff. Post-graduation party. Yeah, August 1st. We move into Stone. Following week, we drive partway down to Florida to Castle. We go all the way to we'll see. You just told me. Let's go.
Like a drum, my heart never
Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Celebration of Life Memorial Service for David Gould, longtime resident of Dudley and Webster, member of the First Congregational Church of Dudley. On behalf of David's family, his children Mike and Chris, their spouses, and children and their children, I hope your time in this space has been and will continue to be nurturing for your spirit. I am the Reverend Shannan Hudgins. I'm pastor of the Federated Church of Charlton, and I gratefully and humbly stand here in the place of Reverend John White, PJ, who has been away on sabbatical since shortly after David died. He visited David the day before he died. It is an honor for me to bear witness to the life and stories of Mike and Chris's father. Welcome. Come to me, all you that are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. These familiar words of Jesus from the Gospel of Matthew sound so beautiful, filled with longed for comfort that we so want right now. And each of us knows that life is complicated. It is often as filled with joy and laughter, friends and family, as it is laden with sorrow and difficulties, challenges we struggle to meet, burdens we long to wrestle off our backs. This life we live is mysterious. It is mysterious indeed. Life begins and life ends. In between is living. Today we've all gathered here in this funeral home and online to honor and remember David, father and grandfather and great-grandfather, friend, cousin, uncle, and supporter to many. Bring your hearts to this safe place of gathering, for I do believe it is in community that we humans find our being. Now that you're here, that you've arrived with your memories and are surrounded by other mourners with their memories, settle in for comfort, settle in for light. Shared sorrows recognize themselves even when the telling is scant. Shared sorrows are here among you. Share them. I invite each of you to breathe deeply, even in the midst of your sadness, especially in the midst of your grief. We begin this service today with scripture reading, sacred texts that reflect David's lived faith. There are 4, beginning with Psalm 23 and ending with the letter of James. The arc of faith reflected in them testifies to David's lived faith across his life. A Psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. A reading talking specifically, everything has its time. For there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to throw away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. And from 1 Corinthians, scripture that was also at Women's service. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable. It keeps no record of wrongs. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. And finally, from the letter of James. What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but does not have works? Surely that faith cannot save, can it? If a brother says, or a sister is naked and lacks daily food, and one of you says to them, go in peace, keep warm and eat your fill, and yet you do not supply their bodily needs, what is the good of that? So faith by itself, if it has no works, is dead. The next part of this service are a collection of words of remembrance. Kevin LaFerriere is going to read the reflection from the Reverend John White, followed by Penny's own reflections, and then Sarah's, Christine's, and mine.
Thank you for the family for having me be part of this. And it's an honor to be able to be here today to read Pastor John's words. So here's Pastor John. Reflection on my nearly 29 years as David Gould's pastor. From the beginning of my time serving as Pastor John at First Congregational Church of Dudley, part of the wider United Church of Christ, I knew David Gould to be a fascinating man. His wife Elaine was on the search committee, which brought me to the church in 1997. And at some point that summer, my wife Sarah and I were visiting at their home, learning about the both of them, and in part about the overseas adventures David's work had brought to the family, and we were shown so many objects he'd brought home with him through the years. He loved his work and the opportunities it provided. Yet then something huge happened in the life of Dave Gould, something I don't think he was entirely prepared for, which is saying a lot because Dave is a guy who likes to be prepared. What happened? Well, early on in my new career as Pastor John, Dave Gould retired from his. And after a few months of hanging out at home, something neither he or Elaine were used to, he came to my office one day asking me for help. He essentially said, "Pastor John, I'm driving Elaine crazy hanging out at home all the time. And she's right, I do need some projects to do. Can you help me?" And of course, this is the best possible scenario for any pastor, a newly retired individual, immensely talented, wanting to give many hours to the church, and volunteer he did. And I've never been more grateful to anyone for giving the very best of themselves to our church for so long. Among so much else, Dave Gould was there helping manage the parsonage restoration and expansion project, which took place in the year 2000. And Dave Gould was there as our clerk of the works for the tower restoration project, which completed in 2009. Believe me when I tell you, Dave Gould was counting every brick, holding the workers of that project accountable, saving our church some money. At the same time, he was there for those workers if they needed anything. Everyone appreciated Dave. And my wife Sarah is so grateful to Dave for his years of service as treasurer for Hands, helping address the needs of Dudley's seniors, a group she founded. The guy who counted bricks was the perfect choice to safeguard every penny meant to go to Dudley's seniors needing assistance with heating or water bills. Simply stated, Dave Gould is one of the most universally loved people within our church family. And so, I'm so glad to have visited him 3 times in recent months. First on March 17th at Brookdale Eddy Pond, where he lived, and he was so happy that day, and even with his increasing dementia, was able to have a great conversation with me about his work years and years with the church. And the only story he repeated, perhaps 5 times, was about Elaine, a story of how much she loved his being in exotic places with his work, and how much she liked to receive a dress no other woman would be able to get. Dave loved Elaine deeply. Once, when Sarah was running the youth fellowship, Dave and Elaine were called upon to share their love story, the story of their meeting with the whole group. It was so meaningful. In many ways, they were very different, and yet always so in love. My next visit with Dave was in the ICU on April 23rd. Yet, he was doing quite well that day, and truthfully, I didn't imagine you all gathering like this today based on how well he seemed then. Yet, sadly, just 3 days later, on Sunday, April 26th, I was visiting him again, following worship, and this time, I knew it would likely be the last time I was with him, so I made sure to place my hand on his forehead and tell him I love him, which I do, before I left the room. One of the most difficult aspects of being Pastor John for so many years is saying goodbye to people you've come to know deeply and well, people you've come to love. Yet, I am so blessed by this work Dave and Elaine encouraged me to do, and in this moment, so blessed to have been in relationship with David Gould for all these years. The search committee which brought me to the church set up a time of sabbatical, which I've taken every 7 to 8 years. It's important for the church and for me to take this occasional time apart, even though it's difficult and strange in times like now. Yet, the church isn't the pastor or the building. It's the people. It's the community. And no one loved and cared for our community more than Dave. Thank you, Dave. And thank you to all of you gathered here today. And deep thanks to my wonderful colleague, Pastor Shannan, for being the officiant for this celebration of life of our dear friend, David Gould, and to Kenny for reading these words. Blessings and love, Pastor John. At this time, it's my pleasure to read some words of my own reflection in my relationship with Dave and Elaine. Chris and Dan, Michael and Carmina, let me say thank you in this moment to you and to Dave's entire family. It was an honor to share the words of Pastor John on his behalf. At the request of Dave's daughter, Chris, I'd like to share some memories about Dave. As a fellow member of our church, I got to know Dave through the years, and most especially his sense of humor. Both of us became experts at giving each other a hard time. He would never miss an opportunity to say, "Hey you, what are you doing over there?" Or during worship, he'd walk past our technology booth and make sure to inform folks they needed to watch out for that guy. Even as recently as last year's Christmas fair, as soon as he saw me, he knew the usual way to approach me was to be sure he did all he could to rattle me. I would be sure to dish it right back to him, which I know he thoroughly enjoyed. Over the years, it got to the point if either one of us spoke respectfully to each other, we would wonder if one of us was ill. I enjoyed those memories. I too was surprised at how fast things progressed and saddened knowing my friend Dave would be leaving us soon. I'm so grateful that I could spend time that day with him and with Chris and Dan. I loved Dave and the friendship we shared. When I first met him many years ago, I was a young teenager learning about the functionality and the business aspect of the church. In fact, I felt he was one of the pillars of the church who became such a steward of the place we all loved. His dedication, planning, and watchful eye over the church finances and the actual building as a trustee earned him the respect of many, including myself. We all will miss him very much, and on behalf of all of Dave and Elaine's friends at the church, it was an honor of a lifetime to be in their presence. Thank you for allowing me to be here today, and thank you all for being here today.
Thank you, Granny. Hello, my name's Sarah. I am one of the 4 grandchildren, and I wanted to open today talking about my grandfather, starting off with a story. So, many of you have probably heard this story, but I remember one of the first times he told me this story. We were at their house in the summer, and he ended up making us PB and jelly sandwiches. And my brother and I were complaining about said PB and jelly sandwiches. So he decided to tell us a story from when he was in the war. Now, my father worked at the telephone company. It was back in the war. He would take the bike that had garden hoses for tires. My mother would put bread in a bag, and I would take it to school. And we would stand in line, holding out the bread, and the lunch lady would go, bread, bread, cheese. That was your sandwich. We never complained about a peanut butter and jelly sandwich ever again. Grandpa, I loved Grandpa. There are so many stories. I could be up here all day talking about him. He was just such a kind person. There was, I swear, no bad bone in his body. I could come home and after getting all of my tattoos and my piercings and dyeing my hair, all fun colors that Grandma absolutely loves, I would ask Grandpa for his opinion because Grandma would give me her opinion. And I'd say, what do you think? What do you think of my tattoos? What do you think of my hair? What do you think of my piercings? And you would say, what do you think of them? I'd say, well, I love them. And he'd say, okay, then I love them. Whether or not he actually meant it, I'm pretty sure by the time I walked out the door, he'd probably turn to Grandma and say, why does she have these things and these young kids? But he never said it to me. He never said a bad thing ever. He tried to teach me how to drive a standard, and I stalled about 15 times in the Shaw's parking lot. And I thought he was mad, so we went home. And Mom asked, oh, how did everything go? And I thought he was going to be like, oh my gosh, she kept stalling. She didn't know what she was doing. She was grinding the clutch. And all he said was, it was interesting. That's his way of saying it was not a good time, but he didn't want to come out and say it was not a good time. One of the last days that he was still here, one day that meant a lot to me was at Easter. Everyone was over the house, and not only did everyone make him feel at home and comfortable and
he could be telling the same story over and over again, and everyone is so engaged in asking him the same questions. But when he went to go leave, it really meant a lot to me because he got in the car and I could see on his face, that he could see me. He couldn't see my mom. He knew who I was in that moment. He gave me a hug and he kissed me and he told me, I love you very much. And I knew in that moment, he didn't see anyone else who could see me. And that really meant a lot to me. Because for a while with his dementia, it was hard to tell if he was there or if he wasn't. And if he thought it was my mom, I kind of rolled with the punches. That's how this disease works. And it really meant a lot to me that he could see me for who I was and that he loved me. I love him, and I know you all love him. And I thank you all very, very much for being here today. Very much appreciate it. Thank you.
Morning. I somehow had a feeling that Sarah was going to take us down the Sappy Road, so just in case, I thought I would start off mine with a little bit of comic relief. So, if any of you are familiar with David Letterman and his top 10 list, this is the Dave Gould top 12 list of random things that a guy with dementia might say to me. And some of these I heard only once, some of these I heard 5 times a day, but every single one of them I just laughed at myself and thought, yeah, Number 12, you can never have enough birdseed. Number 11, Friendly's chocolate chip ice cream can be a meal, a snack, or an appetizer. Dessert can show itself first, last, or only once. Number 10, a baseball hat is an automatic when leaving the house. Red Sox hats preferred. Number 9, it's important to go to the bank once a week and let them know that you're alive and watching. Number 8, never a dull moment at the senior center. There's always a full table of characters with plenty of stories to share. Number 7, I'm a rule follower. I do what I'm told, unless I don't care to. Number 6, it's always fun to go into a store and not buy anything. Sometimes I do it on purpose just to piss your mother off. Because very rarely was she able to do that. Number 5, anywhere you go, sometimes it's about the experience, but most of the time it's about the people. Number 4, I'll never say I told you so. Sometimes things are going bad enough that we don't need to be reminded of our shortcomings. Number 3, I'm thinking about living to 100, just for the hell of it. Number 2, thank you for taking care of me. And for as much as you fought the tide to avoid becoming your mother, here you are. And number 1, in my life, I've been very fortunate. Not everyone. Within the past 2 years, the lives of our family have drastically changed. With all the change, positive or negative, there were lessons there. I learned so much more than I ever expected, and much more than I ever could have imagined. There are so many things that I could mention that made my dad the quiet, quirky engineer that he was, with a short fuse and a very black and white vision of how things should go. But as life went on, I noticed that the quirky behavior had a purpose. His temper seemed to soften, and he became quite social and adaptable and go with the flow as age, retirement, and years of marriage made a positive impact. As I unpacked the time capsule, otherwise known as the basement, over the last year, I had one thought. Was he a sentimental pet rat or MacGyver? I'll explain. Boxes of nails, parts of garden hoses, chisels, wrenches, and random duplicates of stuff he had on shelves sorted, labeled, and organized. Sentimental, or someday each item might have a purpose, so holding on to it just in case made perfect sense. Nothing a tape measure, duct tape, and super glue could not fix. Each house that they moved to, he built a new workbench from original plans, with very little scrap wood left over. MacGyver. As I dug further, I never anticipated to find my preschool graduation program, high school and college program, the world's best dad certificate from 1976, an ashtray that Mike and I made for him in 1970 to be out on his desk for 30 years or work. He was more sentimental than I thought. Through my life, my father averaged 17 weeks away from work each year. And the only way that I know that is I found 30 annual calendars in his time capsule. And each meticulously was color coded, work days, sick days, vacation days, and he averaged 17 weeks a year that he was on. So we always knew how often he was away. Timing wasn't always great. Holidays, birthdays, celebrations were sometimes missed, and although my dad was gone frequently, he always tried to be present when he was home. I have a January birthday, so for many years, a new job would start up after the new year, which meant that he would miss my birthday. And I remember one year I was about 23, living with 4 roommates, and the phone rang at 3 o'clock in the morning. I dove to get to the phone so it wouldn't wake anybody up, and when I answered the phone, the response on the other end reminded me of Frosty the Snowman saying, "Happy birthday." Half asleep, I said, "Dad, what time is it there?" And he said he was in Taiwan, he was 12 hours ahead. "So sorry to wake you, but I wanted to make sure that I wished you happy birthday on the day." I didn't want to wait until Sunday. That was the family day that he would call. "How's your car running? Don't forget to get an oil change." Sentimental indeed. Fast forward to retirement and a dementia diagnosis. Moving and downsizing, so we thought, but these items traveled with him from Winterding to Oxford to Dudley to Webster. His world was slowing and getting smaller, but he somehow adapted to the size of his world. When my mother passed away suddenly, my dad had to adapt to several changes. His confusion was apparent, but his ability to adapt, understand, and go with the flow with what his life was now was not a gradual process. His house was my house. His constant companion was no longer there, and he began to slowly understand that life would be different. He was in a new phase of life, and he was a curious participant in what his next chapter would look like. He attended the Overlook Vista Day program 3 times a week, and after 9 months, he lived in memory care at Bartel in Auburn. With each step of his journey, he always said the same thing: "I'm sure this change will be good, as long as the people are there. I'm fortunate that I can adapt to anything. I can live anywhere. It's all about the people." In the last year of his life, I saw him connect with children at the grocery store, petting every dog on the walk path, shaking hands with friends at church, and having a laugh at the senior center, aka at the cool kids table. He made new friends at Overlook and at Brookdale, and he was a chatty charmer, always willing to reach out to people and connect. I think I learned more about my dad in the last 2 years of his life than I did the 59 before them. I got an opportunity to experience what life was like, having dementia, having to navigate life differently, and how to live a positive life, making the best of every situation. The glass was half full in his world, even as it was getting smaller. So sentimental or MacGyver, both. One word that he used to describe his life and experiences was fortunate. He spoke of being fortunate. that the Army allowed him to purchase their first home. Fortunate that work allowed him to travel and see the world and experience so many wonders. And his love and family was always his compass. Every day since my mother's passing, he would end his conversation with me saying, "Thank you, be good." That was his way to say, "I love you." And I'm so grateful that he allowed me to care for him in his last days. Thank you, Dad, for all that you've given to the family, your community, and to yourself. We were fortunate to witness your positivity, your zest for life, and your sense of humor. You were the family's sentimental, fortunate, thankful MacGyver. Thank you, Dad. Be good.
Good thing we have tissues up here. I'm Michael Gould, the son living in Spain. Thanks again to everyone for being here with us, present and also online or watching on the video. Many of you were here recently with us, all too recently, for my mom's service. We're very happy to have you here again with us. Thanks to Pastor Shannan for stepping in and for leading us in today's ceremony. And special thanks to Kenny for covering for Pastor John, but also for his very kind and interesting and funny words. As we heard, the theme for celebration of the life of Dave Gould, dad, grandpa, great-grandfather, has to be service to the community. We're so proud of his lifelong commitment to serving others, from Boy Scouts to Army Reserves to the Lions Club to church committees, town committees, Webster Food Share, and the list goes on and on. Both Dave and Elaine went far beyond the normal in terms of community service, something that our generation has difficulty in coming close to. Although Christine worked with needy families for many years. Even within our family, Dad served happily. He was always happy to help us out, no question asked. I don't know how many times he's moved us. He's moved me to study in Buffalo. When we moved to South Carolina, he would pack up his red pickup truck and drive 8 hours to Buffalo, or I don't know how many hours to South Carolina, and just show up and help out. He's moved Chris. He's moved things for the church, time and time again, no questions asked. One aspect of Dave's life that many of you don't know is that he was a builder. So he studied to become a draftsman for his company, and he used those drafting skills to build things like a shed at our house in Oxford, but not just a shell of a shed, a house, a small house on a solid foundation that I'm sure is still there. I don't know how many years later. And you could live in that house if you added a bathroom. Detailed architectural drawings, also for decks behind the various houses that they've had. Not just a bunch of 2x4s, but detailed drawings, architectural drawings, and very well architected and very complex structures. He had lots of tools, still has lots of tools down in the basement, and was always building something. Now Christine and Dan are dealing with all these tools. If people would like some tools, we've got plenty for you. As Christine mentioned, and other people have mentioned, not that he was a hoarder, but he was always prepared. So if you needed batteries, if you needed flashlights, if you needed a tape measure, he didn't have 3 of them, he had 30 of them. And we're still dealing with all of those. Another aspect of Dave's life that you've heard about is that he became a world traveler due to his work at Morgan Construction. Initially, he was a draftsman, and then suddenly he started going on the road in the 1970s. And he didn't travel as a businessman does, sort of out and back several times in a week. he would take off to a job in some far off country to start a particular copper mill, and he would be there until the mill was running, and that could be weeks or it could be months. And in far off places that were difficult to visit in the 70s and the 80s, like Uzbekistan or China or Venezuela. And because he was the planner, I recall he would have 2 big suitcases. One suitcase for his own stuff, and one suitcase for all the extras that his buddies would say, Dave. He'd say, Dave, we're over here in Uzbekistan. Bring light bulbs and toilet paper. And he did. So he had always had a suitcase of supplies. He was their guy. And so, sure, I mean, it was a cool part of the fact that Dad was traveling to exotic places. And it was interesting when a big black stretch limousine would pick him up in Podunk, Oxford, Massachusetts, right? Back when companies treated people well. And he probably flew in first class. So that was exciting. But on the other hand, as Christine mentioned, he was gone for certain occasions. And of course, it wasn't all, fun, happy times. He missed a bunch of baseball games. Not that he was missing much in my case. My key play was get hit by the pitch, steal second. And as his memory started going, some of you have heard way too many times about how Chris and I were so fortunate to have studied around the world, traveling with him. And we went to school in China and in Russia. And Christine and I would look at each other and say, oh, that must have been interesting. I wonder if there's any photographic evidence of that. We did, however, study for a few months in England, way back when, and that was very interesting indeed. But I think he's kind of started mixing up his stories. Both Mom and Dad were big Red Sox fans, and we enjoyed many family trips to Fenway Park to see many Red Sox games. I recall showing up without tickets, and then Dad would disappear behind a wall somewhere and come back with 4 tickets from some scalper, and in we went, which I think was actually out of character for him. So I think they were both big Red Sox fans. So I think both of them were looking down at us, and they're happy that we're here together celebrating the life of my dad. But they're also happy that the Sox won 11 in a row. Another top memory for us is that our father went to work when he was working in Worcester. He left super early in the morning, but then he was back at 4 o'clock in the afternoon to jump in the pool with us. It's comforting for us to know that he didn't suffer, nor did my mom. Our dad lived in his own world with dementia for his last few years. And it was a happy place for him. So he didn't have a feeling he was at his assisted living residence for very long. Every day was a new day. And he told us many times, this hotel's kind of nice, and the food's good, which is great. When Chris and I took him into his first assisted living, they gave him a cognitive test. And one of the questions was, did he know what day of the week it was? And getting back to what Kenny was saying regarding how snarky he was, he didn't even try to guess what day it was. He said to the woman, I've been retired for more than 25 years. Do you think I care what day it is? She said, okay. We all have our good memories of this kind, gentle, and helpful man. David Gould was a great man, and we all miss him very dearly. Thank you.
Those are gorgeous stories. Thank you, each of you, for the flesh and bones to this life you put on for all of us. It's an honor to be here. Thank you. My friends, it's time for a little prayer. I invite you to gather your heart and your spirit as we invite God to be with us. You know, Jesus said, whenever 2 or 3 of you are gathered together, I am with you. I run on the energy that God is with us always, always, as will be David. So let us pray. Grant, O Lord, to all who are bereaved, the spirit of faith and courage, that they may have strength to meet the days to come with steadfastness and patience, not sorrowing as those without hope, but in thankful remembrance of your great goodness, and in the joyful expectation of eternal life with those they love. Creator of us all, we pray to you for those who we love, but see no longer. Grant them your peace. Let light perpetual shine upon them, and in your loving wisdom and almighty power, work in them the good purpose of your perfect will. Through Jesus Christ our Lord, who taught his very best friends to pray these words. Please join me. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, now and forevermore. Amen. Amen. Hear this benediction, these words from Jesus. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. May peace be with you this day and always. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Shannan. We have one more song to listen to, and then we're going to head over to Mount Zion Cemetery for his burial. I'm not saying
I'll sweep out your chimney, yes, and I will bring you flowers, yes, and I will do for you most anything you want me to.
If we live in a cottage, you will feel like it's a castle. Mother royal way you're treated and attention shown to you.
I'll be there beside you if you need a crying shoulder. Yes, and I'll be there to listen when you need to talk to me.
When you wake up in the darkness, I will put my arms around you and hold you till the morning sun comes shining through the tree.
I'll be right beside you, no matter where you travel. I'll be there to cheer you till the sun comes shining through. If we're ever parted, I will keep the tie that binds us, and I'll never let it break, 'cause I love you. I will bring you honey from the bee tree in the meadow. And the first time there's a rainbow, I'll bring you a pot of gold.
I'll take all your troubles and I'll throw them in the river. Then I'll bundle down beside you and I'll keep you from the cold.
I'll be right beside you, no matter where you travel. I'll be there to cheer you till the sun comes shining through. If we're ever parted, I will keep the tide that rises, and I'll never let it break, 'cause I love you. Yes, I'll sweep out your chimney gifts, and I will bring you flowers.
Yes, and I will do for you most anything you want me to.
If we live in a cottage, you will feel like it's a castle.
By the royal way you're treated, and the pretty children.
As the usher dismisses you, you come forward, pay your last respects, and accept your cards, just use your lights and hazards on the way to Mount Zion. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
You really
I'll try to reset our home. Definitely, we'll take arrangements. Schedule. Definitely. We got kids, grandkids, 3 days. On the weekends, so much.
We're yes.
I know it. They're in every sport imaginable too. Really good to see you guys. I figured you'd be here, especially with that whole thing about your house. You could have told me a story about that too.
No, we're not going right now. Kids in college. Yes. Yeah. The schedule's already filling up, so. But we'll get back to you. The other thing I tried to do is I got my dad's an assistant.